Jess, let's talk a little bit about jerseys. Okay,
Sure.
We were just talking about narcissism and looking good. Let's move on to Lakers jerseys. So, look, the Warriors jerseys just leaked. Did you get a chance to see those online?
I did.
So the Warriors jersey, I didn't see a white Warriors jersey in there. So they've got two gold jerseys or yellow jerseys in there. But it's got me thinking, okay, we're not far then from a Lakers jersey leaking. I mean, that's gonna happen. We already saw Anthony Davis wearing one, but it was pretty standard. That means we're going to be seeing the City Edition jersey, which was amazing the first year they did it with the Kobe jersey, and then, in my opinion, was kind of when Magic Johnson's City Edition jersey came out. But what are you hoping for when we finally get to see the Lakers jerseys? Because I have a very specific thing that I would like to see when we finally see what these look like.
The only thing I want to see added in, I always like the whites that they do usually at the Sunday games. You know what I mean? But those black ones, those Hollywood Knights one that we saw originally, I like those ones as well because I wasn't a fan of the purple with the black. That wasn't too good for me. But I'm hoping they make some subtle changes, and even the color to me was a bit off. What about you?
And here, I've got a picture of the purple one here that I'll put up so that people watching this on video can see what we're talking about. So you're talking about the purple. I'm guessing you don't like the black stripe, right?
No.
Okay,
no.
me either.
I don't even like the shade of purple either. I think it just didn't sit right with me the way it looked.
So yeah, the purple one I wasn't a huge fan of. The black, to me, I wasn't even too worried about the shade of purple. I didn't notice that as much, but I guess you're kind of right. It is a little bit off compared to what I was expecting to see. But it's the black stripe. You know, it was a little bit goofy when I first saw it. It didn't bother me as the season went on because I kind of was able to ignore it. But I'm hoping they get rid of that. I hope we go back to more of a traditional, or if anything, make that panel all yellow. Like I could do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be good.
Yeah,
there.
I think they need to. I do think. I mean, I always like when the team goes a little bit outside the box if they're not a legacy team. You know what I mean? Like I'm a Niners fan in the NFL, so I like seeing the classic red with the white and gold.
Right.
And so I think the Lakers are such a classic brand. Don't veer too far off of what it is. You can have one of those, side jerseys or alternate jerseys that you wear, which they have with the white and black, and the rest of it, just stick with it. The Lakers as a brand, come on. I mean, they print money, right?
Yeah, and you know what I've got? Here's a complaint that I've seen a lot because I was posting a little bit about this on Twitter. So I've got the gold, well, we call it gold, LeBron James jersey right here. And I can see it even in my screen. It looks very, very yellow. Okay, yeah. It looks, people have said it's like a highlighter yellow. And I get why people would think that. Those of you who are listening to the podcast version of this, you obviously can't see it. Make sure you go look at it. But in person, it looks fairly gold. It comes out on camera as more yellow than it really is. So I would like to see them go with more of a true gold, something that's going to turn up on TV and look gold and not this kind of yellow. I think they were trying to go back to like more of the look that we saw in the 80s with Magic Johnson, that jersey. But I think it just didn't quite work. It's almost more of a banana color to it. But again, in person, it looks more gold to me. And maybe that's just, I'm getting old and my eyes suck. I don't know. But yeah, I would like to see that change too. But here's the other thing. Like, I think that we need to get away from this whole, you can wear whatever jersey you want, whenever you want. I kind of like the structure of having the gold jerseys at home, the purple jerseys on the road. You wear the whites on Sundays at home, and then you'll have your City Edition jersey. I love that concept. You can wear it a few times every year, and then maybe you do like a throwback jersey or something like that. I think this whole, you never know what jersey they're going to wear on any given night. It's just, it bugged me. And maybe it shouldn't, but it did. It just didn't sit well with me.
No, I'm with you on that. I think that the funny part is back, in the 80s, maybe that tone they were going for in terms of color looked okay when you're watching it on something that looks like it's playing in a potato, but we have high quality, high definition now with 4K
HD is stuff, killing the Lakers.
Yeah, so I mean, come on, adjust it because more people are watching you at home than they are in person. But I'm with you, man. I mean, I'm a Canadian, so I like hockey too. They did that a while ago. I think it's been about 10, 12 years now, maybe 15 years, where they changed to
it's the dark jersey at home now, right?
Dark jersey at home, yeah. And I preferred it the other way, which is you wear white and then you always got a different color with the team coming in. And I feel like that with the NBA too. It's like it's cool to do it as a one-off where, we'll wear the City Edition jerseys, 6 times in the year for a special occasion night or something. But whatever, Nike makes money off of it, so that's the whole reason why they're doing it, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to bring up. So in soccer, the jerseys change every year. It's a new, in soccer we call it a kit. But it's a new kit every single year. Okay. And they do that because then in order to be, if you go to the game and you're wearing last year's jersey, well, nobody's really going to say anything, but people kind of take pride in like, yeah, I've got this year's jersey. And then each year you're spending money on jerseys. Do you think that's going to fly in the NBA if they really do? Because I saw a stat earlier that there's going to be like 75 new jerseys across the NBA this season. And that's, 30 of those are City Edition jerseys because those change every year. So it's not quite as huge of a number as you think, but that's still a lot. Is that where the NBA is headed? And if it is that a positive thing? Is that a negative thing? What do you think?
What did you say, 70 or 75 New Jerseys this year?
Yeah, so there's going to be like 75 New Jerseys this year. There's going to be, but again, there's like 30 of those are the City Edition jerseys. So they're not truly those jerseys. The City Edition jerseys change every year. So that number is a little bit skewed, right? It's not really like it's going to be a full 75 New Jerseys. But still, that's, what? You've got 45 jerseys that are going to be different this year for teams. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Is that just going to help Nike make money? Is it moving too close to what we saw with soccer? What's your thought?
Well, you got to look at it the real way, which is as I will go down the street here in LA, there's probably another 45, 50 different versions of those knockoff jerseys that you're going to see in the crowd too, because you always get those. But I'm with you. I would prefer that they just you could change the alternate jersey here and there. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to happen all the time. But I just think, if you're asking people who already spend a crazy amount on tickets, especially ones who are at the arena all the time in season tickets, but obviously those people can afford it. But I think if you're asking the everyday fan to fork out, $100, $150 each year on a new jersey, I think that gets a bit ridiculous going forward.
Yeah, it does. And look, it's tough already. There's some fans that are priced out, right? They're priced out of Lakers games. They can't, ever since LeBron came, so when the Lakers first signed LeBron last summer, I talked to a few different ticket companies and I got an estimate. I went and looked back at the Cleveland Cavaliers numbers. I did some digging and figured out what their average ticket price was when LeBron was in town versus when LeBron wasn't. I looked at how much revenue the city was making off of LeBron being in town and all that. This dude is a money printing machine. It's nuts when I actually started digging into the numbers. But more than just that, the ticket prices went up even more than what the ticket sellers were projecting to me when they first signed him. And they were being fairly optimistic with the amount it would go up as well. So it went up even higher to a point where a lot of fans, you can't afford to go to a Lakers game. So if you're changing that jersey every year, are you then just continuing to price out fans who now feel the pressure to go buy a new jersey every single year? I think that's something the NBA has to consider.
Oh, for sure. And you also have to look at it, and I think this is a good thing for the average income fan, is that you can watch the games at home and you're not missing it. It's actually advantageous now. I feel like, unless it's a big game like a playoff game, that just is a different feel to be in the arena, or if it's something of significance is going to happen on that particular like LeBron passing Michael Jordan, where people you want to see that moment. But I think the NBA at this point, just the way their business model is set up and the way they're going, I don't think they care. I think that, like you said, they got money coming in every which way, whether it's through their TV deals, through the merchandise. The ticket sales are okay for the most part. They're not great in some markets, but that's expected in a 30-team league. But when you look at it as a whole, I agree with you. I think you've priced out a lot of people. You look at secondary prices on the secondary market for Lakers tickets, it's ridiculous. For a big Friday night game, just to get in the building, you're paying $200 to sit in the nosebleeds. And that to me, is something the NBA might have to worry about going forward, is getting people into the game, because we've seen the NFL numbers dwindle as well as Major League Baseball, because the product on TV is so damn good right now.
It really is. And now that more people are switching to streaming too, we're hearing, the NBA's TV deal is going to be up in a few years, and they're probably going to get less revenue coming in from their TV deal, and they're going to have to transition, and we'll see that, they're getting involved in gambling, and maybe this push towards, maybe eventually we get to the point where it's literally a new jersey or a new version of the jersey every single year. Maybe that's a way to make up some of the revenue that you might lose. So look, I get why the NBA would want to do this, would want to have a lot of changing jerseys and things like that and give fans lots of things to purchase. I just wonder if at some point it's too much. It's going to be oversaturated with the NBA fan base.
Yeah, and you got to remember how you're saying the jersey cost, and you're mentioning the streaming. Like right now, you have to, if you want the ESPN or the sports package, you got to pay extra for that, even though I would say it's not that much. But if you're looking at all these streaming services, it's like AT&T wants to start its own, NBC starting its own. It's like you're going to be paying $200 in streaming just to get all these different networks. And then on top of that, if you have to each year invest, a couple $100 on a new jersey, it ain't worth it to the everyday fan. So I do think that's something they have to consider going forward. However, with the amount of money they're making right now, and it might change in a couple of years, like you said, I just don't see the league looking at it as a whole as a problem.
All right, Jazz. So let's move on, and we're going to talk a little bit about Frank Vogel's challenge that he's got in front of him, and it is a pretty massive one. I mean, look, the Lakers are a team that could contend for a championship, but it's going to be a pretty hairy situation for Frank Vogel to deal with the Lakers here. And speaking of hairy, you like that transition there?
That was a good one.
That one is going in the vault as one of my best transitions ever. But we're going to talk a little bit about Manscaped. Hey, support for Lakers Nation comes from Manscaped, who is number one in men's below the belt grooming. So look, I mean, we're all adults here. This is something that is needed. It's something that is necessary. You have to be able to clean yourself up every now and then, right? You can't be looking like Sasquatch or anything like that. You've got to make sure that you are looking good if you want to get anybody in and around your areas, right? So you got to make sure that you do that, and Manscaped is a great way to go about that, and they're one of our new sponsors. Pretty important that you're careful and that you are safe and that you don't have any accident, right, Jess? This is not a place where you want to have any slip-ups.
No, it is not a place you want to have any slip-ups. It's also not a place I want to talk about because I'm pretty sure my mother's watching the show right now. So. But I agree with you 100%. You don't want any slip-ups down there.
So if you guys are interested in something like this, if you want everything to be looking good, you can actually get 20% off and free shipping with the code NATION when you go to manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. All you got to do is punch in that code NATION. Go check it out. They have all kinds of different products for you to help you out with what can be a little bit of a challenging area.